According to the economic crisis in Ghana, Ministry of Finance engaged the general public on the way forward to end the economic crisis. Speaking at the press briefing was the Honorable Minister for Finance in Ghana, Hon.Ken Ofori Atta. In a statement said that they are going to put strategies in place through the help of IMF and World Bank in order to revive Ghana's economy.
Path and to bring that sustainability over the medium term. This is really the overarching goal of one of the overarching goals of the program. Now, when it comes to the specifics of the government's debt restructuring strategy, when it comes to, for example, the perimeter of the debt restructuring, which debt would be included or not included, when it comes to the parameters of the debt restructuring, in other words, what type of relief would be sought from one type of creditors or another, and when it comes to engagement between the government and the creditors, all of that are very much sovereign decisions, and they are very much for the government to decide on in collaboration with their financial and legal advisors.
Parameters are clear to us with regards to where the landing zone should be, and those are the bookends that we are talking about. 55% debt to GDP, and then 18% external debt service over revenue. So those become the bookends that we work with, and within there will then be the parameters as we have outlined in our domestic exchange program, and therefore also continuing with that with the externals. We hope that we've been having discussions, but maybe formalized discussions going through beginning this week also. So that's the trajectory that we are looking at. But I think for all of these three partners with the debt operations, it's really the lift that we have with this SLA, and therefore all of us doing our part to make sure that this confidence is built on, and we move on to create the macro stability, and that will then ensure that we all participate in a much stronger Ghana. So yes, the challenges that we'll have, we're going to have challenges with the parameters that we unfold for each of these groupings, and the issue for all of us is a commitment to end this crisis in a way, and so we'll have I expect that we'll have positive discussions, and as always move to a solution that will ensure that we remain within the landing zone that has been ascribed.
The pension funds mustn't be touched by government whatsoever. Two, that they don't also want to hear anything about freezing of employment in the public sector, because they think that will not inure to the benefit of their members. And then three, they said the tax regime that we want to implement is not in their favor because it will impoverish the workers. And they also say that some of the conditionalities of the IMF are so inimical. How would you react to such a statement from the TUC? Thank you very much.
With regards to the trade union, the TUC, I think it's not a very surprising position, because it is, all of these things are shocks that we need to analyze and then make determinations as to how best to move forward as a nation. But we've been able to do literally the impossible in this difficult environment, to be signing an SLA at this point. So let's look at the opportunity that offers us, and within that context, see how we can save the funds that we have in terms of pension funds, etc. Because a destabilized macro environment is the greatest enemy to the value of our pensions. And I think that's what we need to juxtapose and then come to some conclusions. So, sort of segueing into George's question, we have been able to do this in 5 months. I think at the beginning, the same questions were asked whether we'll be able to get to an SLA before year end. But I think with the spirit of this team and what we are doing, we will go into the discussions with the debt operation with the same fervor, understanding, and I believe we will get there to get the board approval. Common framework, as we all know, has been plagued with a lot of difficulties. And I think the Paris Club, everybody has learned from it. So yes, we've been engaging, and we need to figure out how to ensure that if there's a platform that has to be used, then we need assurances of speed and to expedite it and clarity of what we have to do that. Else, let's design an alternative which will make sure that we don't derail this momentum that we have built. So that is how we looked at it. The issue of various programs, including free education, I think if you listen to Stefan, there was a clarity of the issue of preservation, a review to look at efficiencies of all of these programs, and that has already kicked off. And as we then continue, we'll make sure that these are run efficiently. I mean, free education, the issue of human capital is something that, I think the government of President Akufo-Addo is completely committed to and clear about that, because that always remains our future and also ensures social mobility for every Ghanaian. The sense of citizenhood is important. So yes, we can make it more efficient. I think within the 5-6 years that we've been here, we saw sort of average results move from 45% to 50%, and this year we had an average of 60%, which was just phenomenal. So I'm not sure anybody should worry about that going forward. Thank you very much indeed. I hope I covered all.
Yes, you did.
Of the medium term. We are working within the framework of what we call the IMF and World Bank low-income country debt sustainability framework. This is what has been used over the years to assess debt sustainability in Ghana, but also lots of other member countries of the IMF. And in the case of Ghana, as the minister mentioned, but also, in fact, His Excellency, the president, just a few weeks ago when he addressed the nation and talked about these debt objectives, two of the key ratios that we feel would be consistent with re-establishing debt sustainability are this 55% NPV of total debt to GDP, and this 18% of external debt service to revenues.
Conversation about how much we need to make some expenditure cuts to our budget. My question to the fund is that, looking at government's budget, are you satisfied with the level of cuts, and do you think that some more cuts need to be done to ensure that we have that macroeconomic stability? And a quick one, please. This will be like the 17th or 18th time the countries come to the fund, and we say we are putting in reforms that will make sure that we have a robust economy. What different thing is happening now to ensure that Ghana will not have to come back here in the next 3 or 4 years seeking some relief from the fund? Thank you.
Thank you.
Since the announcement of the engagement with the IMF, one thing that's come out is that individuals are going to be exempted from any debt sustainability.
Space in the budget going forward over the medium term for increased expenditure that are very important for growth and for social spending. So all of these are key objectives of the program, to create space for this type of very, very important spending over time. Um, Now, when it comes to the budget, that has been submitted to Parliament. We were asked about our assessment. Our assessment is pretty much in line with what the Honourable Minister mentioned at the beginning. This is a very, in our view, a very important and very good first step towards the efforts that the government is making in trying to re-establish debt sustainability. And as far as the revenue measures are concerned, of course, they are consistent with that objective that I mentioned at the beginning of having the program underpinned by this significant revenue mobilization effort.
The Financial Stability Fund, um, the challenge for most of these funds is to engender confidence. And once you do have the confidence as to where we are going, you don't have people dependent on that fund. But certainly, we will stand ready to enhance it as and when it is necessary. But my expectation is that from hence, with the signing of the SLA, we should all kind of rest assured that we are on a path that we can depend on, and therefore the issue of people thinking they need to pick up their money from their investments will not be necessary, as stability will be coming. So yes, if it needs to be enhanced, it will, but I think in Jamaica, it was not even taken up at all, even though it brought a sense of confidence to the market. So we expect that. And the key issue about returns on our investment is really in the end macro stability. And that is what we are seeking to achieve, so that we can work together through this.
We are short of this. Thank you. Right, thank you.
Stakeholders were not engaged before this debt exchange program was launched. That's one of their major concerns. Why this was a surprise to them, first of all. So now that you're going back to them to now consult them after the announcement, how sure are you that they're going to support this? And why are individual bodies
we are not able to work on our own? We have to come back to you for the same things you helped us get out of. Why isn't the fund worried about why we quickly run back to you when you leave us to work on our own?
All right, thank you very much. So,
With the government also, it was very clear that one of the objectives of this program should be to make the economy more resilient to shocks. Yeah? Because the solution to what you are raising here of the recurrence of IMF programs, the way to deal with this is just to make sure that the economy becomes more resilient. And it is certainly a key objective of the program, and how that would be achieved under the program is by implementing reforms that aim at tackling the underlying structural weaknesses that make the economy less resilient to shock. So this is really a key objective of the program, and this is why I referred to at the beginning in my introductory remarks to a wide-ranging reform program.
Relationship with the fund, comes with it certain actions and reforms that we must do, which will support our movement towards better governance and expenditure controls that we have. So that's assurance that we should get out of this and not return to that old ways that we have had.
Thank you for watching Nation One TV. Kindly subscribe for more news updates.